Hello geeks, nerds, and fans of words. My name is Kate and welcome to Fire Breathing Bookworm. Today I'm going to be reviewing We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. This review is going to be split into my spoiler-free review of the book and my spoiler-full review about thoughts on certain plot points and characters. I'll let you know when the spoilers are coming. Now let's get started. This story is about a boy named Henry Denton who has a lot going on in terms of school, family, friends, and so on. He also has the fate of the world in his hands when he's given the choice to save it or do nothing and let the world be destroyed. This story follows his journey about whether or not he thinks the world is worth saving. This book is amazing because you really get into the perspective of Henry and you feel like you're going on this journey with him. Now, I have to start by saying that this book has many triggers. It deals with topics about suicide, intense bullying, and both physical and sexual assault. It's an age 14+ book and should thus be read with that in mind. That being said, this is an amazing book and is within my top 3 favorite books of all time. It is a sci-fi realistic fiction mix, including a lot of diverse characters, like characters who are gay, who are dealing with mental illness, and much more. The pacing was perfect and the character arcs were brilliant. I think each character grew and changed throughout the book in a very natural way. My favorite thing about the story was the emotion it conveyed. I cried through this book. And I'm not a big crier, but I was bawling. To sum up this review, I think this is a really great book and it's really worth the read. I'd give it 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 100%. Okay, now if you haven't read this book, go, read it, and then you can come back and finish listening to me ramble. Goodbye! Now time for spoilers. So I love how the whole concept of this book was that it was a science project that Henry handed in to his teacher, Miss that he handed into his science teacher. I thought that tied everything together and I really didn't see it coming. Speaking of Miss the science teacher, I loved how she continued to support Henry throughout everything he was going through. I also really like how she was this geeky person who didn't care what people thought of her. Relatable. Actually, I feel all the characters were relatable, or they at least changed my perspective on the world a bit. Let's start with Diego. He was so lovable and creative, but I loved how his protectiveness for other people gave him this dark side. I also loved his relationship with Henry and how it progressed very naturally. They had bumps in the road, but they figured it all out. Audrey was a great character too. She could really relate to Henry and made a lot of smart decisions when dealing with her own mental health. I really liked Zoe and Charlie's story too. Charlie had to give up his dreams to be there for Zoe and their baby, and Zoe was there with him even when Henry confronted her about Charlie kind of being a jerk. I also really admire their strength for being able to deal with the unimaginable. Marcus was the one character I genuinely hated, though I didn't fully hate him until the end. Usually when characters are in toxic relationships, I'm yelling at the book because, oh my god, you could do so much better than them. But in this book, I was really inside Henry's head to the point that I genuinely thought Marcus was a good guy who was just putting on a show for a crowd. As the book went on and as Marcus increased his abuse to Henry, I realized that, nope, he's just a bad guy. Henry's mom didn't really stick out to me as much, but I really admire how she turned her life around by the end of the book. His grandma didn't really stand out to me either, but I really love her approach to life and how she handled losing her memories. She was like this shining beacon of light. Now for Jesse. Oh, Jesse. He was what made me cry. Anytime Henry was imagining them together, I just burst into tears. I really wish I knew more about him and what he went through. Finally, Henry. While reading this, I kind of felt like I became Henry, so this is going to be a bit of self-reflection for me too. Henry was too good for everything that happened to him, and he got to the point where he was depressed and even suicidal without knowing it. I loved how he interacted with every character and he asked everyone what they would do if they had the fate of the world in their hands. Through him, we got to see his world and all the people in it. One of the things that haunts me is the fact that we still don't know whether or not the aliens were real. Throughout most of the book, I truly believed that the aliens were real, but by the time we got to the end and we saw how many issues Henry truly had, my faith in him kind of weakened. That's one of my favorite things about the book though. It leaves you with so many questions. To end this review, I would like to read 2 quotes from Henry, one from the beginning and one from the end, to show how he grew as a character and that really impacted me. The first one is, Your entire sense of self-worth is predicted on your belief that you matter to the universe, but you don't, because we are the ants. And the last, the universe may forget us, but it doesn't matter, because we are the ants, and we'll keep marching on. Okay, thanks for watching my first book review. Keep your eye out for more videos coming from me soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, you can never have too many books. Bye! Nay, 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 nay.